Hey everybody, it's Liz with Abyss, and today we have Matt Barron with us from the Paranormal Consultant and also Global Ghost Hunt. Everybody say, hey Matt.
What's up, everybody?
So, I have to apologize for the way I look again. I completely lost track that today was even Monday. Matt reached out to me. He's like, hey, just checking to make sure we were still on. I'm like, oh, crap. So, I still have oil in my hair from treating it. I need a shower. I'm stinky. Of course, y'all can't smell me, so you're lucky on that front. But,
Oh, hey, like I said, Liz, I'm no better. So you look
but
better than I do.
well, thanks. I try. I try to look greasy enough to just look good enough.
Slick look. I got it. I got it.
If you've ever watched any of these shows that I do, I don't have like um a thing that I focus on or anything like that. You're
Hey,
just coming on to talk about yourself.
you know how I am, Liz. You've seen my shows, and I've apologized.
Hmm. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you became the paranormal consultant, and where do you come up with that?
So actually, I got to give credit where credit's due, obviously, and that would be with the Wicked Queen, my wife, Mackenzie. Um, we've been in the field for a long time. I personally have been in the paranormal field for about 20 years now. I've done over 400 home and business investigations, thousands of hours in the field. Ran three separate teams, and this last team was called Central Pennsylvania Paranormal Eye (CPPE), and she was a part of another team, and we met actually at a cemetery, and we decided that the founder and I decided that we were just going to kind of condense the teams together. Um, and one thing led to another. We'll just put it nicely, and I decided to just kind of end the team. I was like, no, it's not going to happen. I can hear myself. There we go. Sorry, I'm sharing it out. I'm multitasking here. I'm sharing the live out for you guys. Um, and I told her, I said that, I can't do this anymore. I don't like the way the team was going. I don't like the way things were being done. And I said, I want to back out. I want to be done with it. And long story short, a couple weeks later, I kept saying I want to do something with the paranormal. I want to still be in it. I still want to be involved. I still like it. I want to help people. And she actually said, "What, like a consultant?" So it took me a little bit. I was like, a consultant, a ghost hunter consultant, and I started running through names, and I went paranormal consultant. I said, I like the way that sounds, and her being her, if you guys know her, goes, "You're an idiot," but okay, I guess that's the best you can come up with. So that was her way of saying she likes it, which is that's her. And so yeah, so that's where that was born. And I tried starting out doing like how-to videos, like how to investigate for new people and stuff, and it was just going to be a series type thing on YouTube, just nothing serious like what we do here. And
Hmm.
until I met the infamous Scott Morton from Warren Area Society of Paranormal. If you watch my show, he goes by Mr. Fedora. He told
Right.
me that he likes my characteristics, my charisma. He said everything about you. He goes, you need to do a show. You need to do a podcast. And I never really thought about it. And one thing led to another. I started doing them in my car, just random places, and doing these lives. And about 5 years later, this is where we're at.
Okay. Okay. So when it comes to consultations, I guess, or whatever, do you have a lot of people that reach out to you and say, hey, Matt, look, I need help with this, or I need help with that, or whatever, and you just kind of delve in there and show
You
them
were
how it's
supposed to be
done?
on quiet, phone. Wasn't trying to be somewhat professional here, but so yes and no. There are some teams that do reach out. A lot of people reach out and just ask me for help and stuff like that. Pretty much, I'm there as kind of a mentor. I want to be there to help people, and especially starting out in the field. Because that's something I think a lot of us never really had, is that sort of mentorship. It was kind of trial by fire. Like, if it works, great. If it doesn't, but that's kind of where I based my consultancy around. And the same thing with the Wicked Queen. We try to help people out and try to, you know, give people a helping hand, so to speak, and be there for them to help them grow and help them get better in the field and better understand what we're doing.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of wondering if that was the whole along the lines situation, because I know me myself, like you can look at your background and then look at my
Mm.
background, for instance. Like, I know the other night you and I were speaking, and you were telling me about these places I can go to and kind of create my own thing, or otherwise everybody just kind of get to see the inside of my rinky dink
Hey,
home here.
I'm in a basement.
And it worked. At least you have a spot for it. Me, I have a folding table in the middle of my living room that Ruben works from all the time, and, I have to scoot all of his stuff. I get in, I'm like, push it all out there, put my little laptop there, set up my mic and all this, and it's just covered right
Hey,
now, so this is 2 shows in a row I'm
like I
sitting on the
told you, Liz,
couch.
I started off, and I'm not even lying on this, folks. I literally started off when I first got my MSI laptop. I had it on my underwear drawer. Like, I had it balancing, like with underwear and socks. So trust me, I get it. I get it.
Well, I don't think my underwear is around. There might be a pair somewhere. But so, how did you end up getting involved with the global ghost
Oh,
hunt
geez.
situation, or the parapost and all that?
So, like I said, whenever I first started doing these videos and podcast, I met Scott first, and then Scott led me
Mhm,
to meet other people. And I've had him on my show and stuff like that. And it was just networking, just constant networking. That's really how that started. Doing the lives, people would come on Facebook or YouTube, and I'd meet them that way. And I'd say, just come on the show. We'll talk and hang out. And eventually, I ran into Brian John Laverty, and we started talking and hanging out and all this stuff, and had him back and forth on the shows and whatnot. And he actually started telling me about this idea he had for this network. It was called Parapost, and he had an app when it was just in like the baby stages. And we started talking about it, and he started asking me questions, and we started networking and working out some bugs in with the app, and started growing and marketing and promoting each other out. And one thing led to another, and then he created Parapost Network Central on Facebook. And
mhm,
I was in the beginning stages. Myself and some others were in the beginning stages of that, and we just started just promoting, and we put it on blast. Every show, at least 3 or 4 times, we would say it. I'd have above like I do now, and we just kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And Brian opened everything up to podcasters, basically anybody. If it started off first like paranormal, cryptozoology, stuff like that, but then it turned into everybody and anybody. And it doesn't matter if you're paranormal or not, you can come on the network and you can promote your show. And it's become a really good community. And nothing against any others, but there's really no drama with the Parapost Network, which I really like. We all work together. Um, all the creators, we all have our own chat, so we're always networking and talking. Um, and I'd say about a year into it, or maybe even less,
mhm.
Brian, myself, and a couple others were involved with another event. A lot of people know about it. I'm not going to say their name, but it's another global event. It's considered the largest. We'll just say it that way. We had some bad experiences, and I'm not gonna point
Mm,
blame. It's not any one person or any group's fault. It's just, you know how it is, Liz. Sometimes you don't see eye to eye with people, and that's how we were. We were just like, okay, I don't like the direction. So Brian said he wanted to start something not similar. He wanted to basically improve, like another event
right.
type, and do something different. So again, a group of us got together. We started talking about it, and Global Ghost Hunt was born. And the one thing that makes Global Ghost Hunt a heck of a lot different than any others is it's not about the money. It's not about the money. It's not about getting us promoted out. It's not about anything for ourselves, not ego at all. It's about the teams, the locations. Oh crap! I got to be careful. The Creepy Cult podcast that just popped in. That's the
I
Wicked
see
Queen
that.
right there. Hey, wait a minute.
Okay.
She doesn't watch my shows. Well, technically, this isn't my show, so okay, fair enough. I literally asked her. I said, "Did you see my show I did?" She goes, "No, I don't watch that crap." Exact words, by the way. Exact words. This is my wife. Um, she, but I love her. She,
That's what we're good for. We're good to tell you absolutely not. Get it out of your head now. We're not here to support you.
see, I even tell her, I had someone really involved in the Wicca community, and all this and that. Okay, I'll watch it if I can. It's like, thanks, love you too.
Right, right.
But yeah, so the Global Ghost Hunt, like I said, is about the teams and the locations. One of the best examples so far that I've seen is you guys, Abyss. You guys, oh,
I was gonna say if it weren't for you guys, we wouldn't have the eyes on us that we do. And it's not that it's about that, but as much as, how else would we be able to continue to do what we do if it weren't for the support we get, you know?
see,
And
see this love, see the love. I don't know if anybody in chat can see this, but it's great. It's great. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's funny.
I'll remember
She's
that
like,
next.
nope.
She gets free designs all the time. Free intros, free outros, free designs like that. If you could, Liz, please bring up her thing again. Her comment. That design for that YouTube channel, that was me. I did that for her.
I can't even see
It's
that really though. It's
it's a
so
cat
small.
with a crescent moon and a bunch of crystals and some stars. That's what she
Oh.
likes. That's what she wanted.
Oh, I see it better over on the
Yeah,
chat
yeah.
side, actually.
So yeah, she gets all that stuff for free,
That's really cool though.
and she gives
I
me this
like
much
that.
crap. No, I love her. But yeah, no, you guys are a prime example of what our mission is at Global Ghost Hunt, and it's not about us. It's about the teams and the locations. And to be honest, it's about networking and celebrating these teams and these locations. It's not anything about ego. I mean, yeah, it's great that like people like you and Abyss get out there and get that exposure. That's great, but that's not exactly what it's about. It's about everybody. It's expanding our community and celebrating it and having fun.
Exactly.
And I'm not just saying that because you guys you have me on here, Liz, but I know the rest. I remember
Sure.
know probably Vicky and everybody in the business is probably watching, or at least will be watching. But you guys have some of the best videos and investigations that I've seen. Every time I watch you guys, I'm on literally the edge of my seat. I'm watching. I'm like, I'm not even joking. Like the last event, last October. Brian and I were watching, and I had it set up as a split screen because you guys were obviously recorded.
Uh-huh.
And then the entire time, like I have a screen right here, I'm up against the monitor just watching. I'm like, Brian, there's a shadow there. We got to check that out. Make a note. Tell them there's a shadow. There's this, there's that. I mean, that's what it is with you guys,
That's
and
funny.
the different techniques you guys use. I'm sitting there with a notepad. That's really freaking good. I never thought of that. And
Well, we did the same thing though. We were watching these other teams and we literally were like, "Oh my gosh, how didn't we
mhm,
think of that? I wonder if we could make a spin on that on our own, of our own type thing." And we appreciate the support. You are one of our biggest freaking supporters. It's amazing to get that as much love as we get from you. And but it is, you're exactly right though. It is a
mhm,
learning platform almost. It really helps us to come up with new ideas and new approaches and things like this because everybody brings their own
yep,
flavor to the table. And that's literally my very first episode
mhm,
of this show was exactly that. That's exactly what I said. You were talking earlier about how you were part of another global thing that we won't mention. Um, so, um, but that's exactly what I said in that first one. I was like, the thing is there's always going to be something going on. There's always some drama with somebody. There's always something else. But the thing that I think a lot of us start losing focus on, and this is humans
Hmm.
as a whole, not just in the paranormal community, is that we don't find those connections that we
No.
actually share. And we don't hone in on that and use that to support ourselves and find those commonalities and go, hey, you know what? Actually, we can put this
Yep.
shit aside. We actually see a lot of that, and I think that's it. And sometimes I wonder in the paranormal field if a lot of people lose sight of why we do this. Is it you just like you said, it's not about us. It is actually about helping these other people who call us in and need our support and make people feel like they're not
A hundred
crazy.
percent. And to be honest with you, and yes, I'm not stripping. I'm just getting warm. It's getting warm.
Oh, oh,
It's
we need
getting
some
warm down
music.
here. But I
I know
actually
I'm hot.
stole. This is the Wicked Queens. If I don't know if anybody knows who this guy is from. Bonus points if you do. But this is an anime that the Wicked Queen and I absolutely love, and we actually have our girlfriend now, Felicia. She's really invested in this too, and now we're all on it. It's called Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Bot. It is so fun. It's not for kids. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you have kids, don't let them watch it. But I know he looks cute, but that's who it's from. It's a little pig, demon pig called Fat Nugget.
Okay, I was trying to figure out if he was like a cat that was dressed like a clown, because
Yeah.
all I can see it. I wonder if I can blow up my screen. Give me a second. Oh, yep, I
Yep,
see it
he's a little
now.
demon.
Oh,
He's a
he's
little demon pig.
cute.
His name is Fat Nugget. He's cute. But I stole this. She's gonna pick on me. I'm gonna pick on her. I stole this shirt. This is her shirt. So, um,
Ruben always steals my stuff,
oh, we go
believe
back
it or
and
not.
forth. We go back and forth. But no, that's and again, it's not just about like we were saying. It's not just about just one team or one group. It's everybody. And
Hmm.
the global ghost hunt really exclamates what Parapost and everything we're doing is about. It's not about us.
Right,
We could care less. We want these
right.
other teams to get involved. And I've said on my show numerous times, the paranormal field, we already have the answer. Is there life after death? We already know that answer. Otherwise, who the hell are we talking to? There's got to be something. Something happens after death. You can't destroy energy. That's a scientific fact. And that is
That's my biggest
exactly.
argument.
So we're trying to figure out what happens. Now, is that going to be in our lifetime? I highly doubt it. And multiple reasons. Top of that list is ego. Everyone, for some reason, wants to be the next Ghost Adventures. I don't know why, but they do. Um, to be honest, if you want to be like that, get out of the field. You're just making it worse. But I've
Yes,
had some experience with him. Just saying. Oh, it was
just
close. It
saying
was
too.
close. I should have. Maybe they would have given me a medal. They might have given me a medal if I would have kept him quiet. We'll just put it that way. but but no, like anybody that joins in the global ghost hunt, you learn. You're always learning, and it's going to take all of us to learn and figure out what exactly really is going on. And
And that's exactly how I got into this actually. I've been asked by numerous people, including yourself, how exactly did we get into this, as a
mhm,
person, myself. My thing is I am very skeptical about everything. Everybody knows this about me. And but like you said, it's already kind of been proven over and over again that there is something
mhm,
else after this. And just like you said, energy cannot be destroyed. So
yep.
where do we go after that? And you have a lot of people who believe, in heaven or hell. But why then are we still able to talk to the energy in between? And so my question is,
So Vicky,
uh,
I'm being nice. It's not my show. I'll put it to you this way: there's a certain finger I put up every time I hear that name, and I'm covering it right now because it's not my show. I'm being nice.
yeah, I can love him too. So everybody knows how I feel about that
Oh, I could go on. I
person.
could go on a 3 hour
Um,
rant,
oh my
and that and
god. Um,
that's holding some back.
yeah, yes. He is the reason why people think we're goofy. He is the reason why people think that that this whole idea is evil. He is the reason that we have to be out here every day trying to prove ourselves that this is in fact something that should be taken seriously. Because and it comes right back to what I was just going to say is I'm curious as to why some people are not still here and why some people are still here. You know what I mean? Like what is happening just
Yep.
over that cloak? What can we not see on the other side of here? And that's the answer that I'm always looking for is why?
Yeah.
What is it? And how do we get there?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know if I want to go to heaven or hell. Do I have a choice in that? Do I get to decide, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to stick around and just watch my kids keep going and watch my grandkids grow up. You know what I mean? Like, do I get a choice? I would love to know this. I want you to answer these questions for me, thing or person
Yeah.
on the other side. And
Yeah,
that's my goal.
100%. And I'm the same way. And I've even told some people, not to make it sound too weird, but I'm jealous of the dead. I really am, because they have that answer that we want. I'm not saying I want to do anything about that, but at the same time, I'm jealous.
Oh,
I want them to just come back and say, "Hey, this is what happens," and cheat. But nobody will.
exactly.
The closest thing I got was I was at the oh, I can't think of it right now. The Whaley House in San Diego,
Uh huh.
and we had who we are assuming is Thomas Whaley. He's if you don't know the research, Thomas Whaley is like the man. He was the first like judge, sheriff, whatever of Old Town San Diego. Big
Okay.
player in the local politics in San Diego. Well, we got in touch with him, and we're sitting here on a spirit box, and they have, if you ever seen it, there's like these like concrete walls or like stone walls that they have all over downtown old town San Diego, right on the main street. And
Okay.
we're just sitting there. We're just sitting there, just hanging out, talking. And I'm known for asking the weirdest freaking questions. If you ever seen it during Global Ghost Hunt, I will ask everything and anything that comes to my mind. I do not care. That night, for some reason, I said, Mr. Whaley, and you heard Thomas. He didn't want to be called Mr. He wanted Thomas. Okay. I said, all right, Thomas. I said, I'm just curious, what happened or what's it like to die? And everybody on my team froze and went,
But that's exactly what we're
I was
doing
like,
this
what?
for.
I want to know. And I kid you
Yeah.
not, Liz, all I hear over the speaker was cold. Cold? Cold.
But what was
Like
it?
freezing cold. I said cold.
Oh.
Cold? Oh, okay, I'll bring a sweater, I guess. I don't know. So apparently it's cold. I don't, and again, it's all theory. We don't know. I mean, that's one thing I love about our field. There is no right or wrong answer. There's no professional. You're seasoned. You're a seasoned
Yeah.
investigator. You've done a lot of investigation. You got experience. Cool. You're seasoned. You're not a professional. Nobody knows for sure.
That's exactly what Vicky always says, nobody in this field is
Mm-mm.
an expert. And if they say they're an expert, they're a liar.
Now they're just people with a lot of knowledge. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I
Yep.
know everything about everything in the paranormal, because I don't. There's people that know a lot more than I do. But I've done my
Mhm.
research. And that's why Mackenzie was dubbed the Wicca Queen. She knows a hell of a lot more about Wicca than I do. I know the
Right.
basics, but she knows a lot more.
Right.
There's literally no such thing as, like you guys said, there's no professional, there's no experts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I always wear a hoodie.
Just one
That's why I
man.
always wear a hoodie.
I'm gonna bring mittens. Don't worry.
But I mean, you're right though. Something has to happen. There has to be something. There has to be some reasoning and some choice. There has to be.
Not to mention, you have a lot of people who run into residual hauntings. Like that's a pretty given as to how that happens. I mean, if you do understand quantum physics and energy transparency and transference and stuff like this, I mean, it's pretty given as to how that
Hmm.
happens. Um, and but then it's like, how did the energy make that decision? How did the energy go, you know what, we're going to do this, but we're not actually going to be in the physical realm not on a
Yeah.
record. You know what I mean? And there's so many questions, and that's the thing. And if anybody who can sit there and go, we do have all the answers, it is impossible. How could you have the answers? You're not
You
over
know,
there. You know
to
what I
be
mean?
honest, as far as the types of haunting, to me, the residual is the hardest one. It's the hardest one to explain because, I mean, intelligent haunts, I get. I mean, that's what leads me to think that there's some sort of choice because a lot of these clients that I've been to, it's a friend or a family member that's just hanging on. They need that closure. They need that. Either the spirits need it or the family needs it. They're just holding on to them.
I was
And
gonna
then and
say,
then
yeah. You
Oh,
go
no,
ahead.
you're
I'm
good. You're good.
sorry.
I was just saying. Then once you get the closure, you do the proper investigation, and you do the prayers and the blessings and everything. You just make sure everybody's happy and understanding. It goes away. They go to where they need to go. That to me that explains the choice, which led me to start my list. I have a list of people I'm coming back for whenever I pass.
Me too. I have a list
Uh-huh.
too.
Wicked Queen's on top of that, of course. But But yeah, and that would make sense to me. But the residual, that logically does not make any sense because I could see a time of death if there was something, but that doesn't explain people walking through homes and you know doors that were there. You know,
Yeah, exactly. Because you see many videos where, like, there's this woman who's gliding down the
mhm.
stairwell. Okay. That wasn't a traumatic
Nope.
event for her. But is it just because she imprinted doing that so much? Or was she thinking of something that traumatically happened that we don't know about that caused this energy that got left
Yep.
behind? Or, whatever. I mean, it is hard to explain, but it is also still not. It's just a repetition of an emotion that
Which
happened,
which to
you
me,
know?
I get the imprint side of it, but even to me, that's not even accurate because it if somebody's just doing their everyday life, like you walking down the stairs. That's not enough energy. You have to have some sort of energy, a massive amount of energy built up to create that sort of imprint to stay that long.
Right,
So that to
right.
me, the only thing I can even fathom is that matrix theory or the multiverse theory. It's not actually
Hmm.
residual. It's not from us. It's not from this it's a bleed over from another reality. That's why they can't
Right.
see us. They can't understand. They don't care we're there. That would explain it. And if they do it day in and day out, especially like if it's like in the older times, that could be there now. That could be their reality now, and they're just going through the motions. They don't know, just like
Exactly.
us. If you think of it this way, if there's investigators on the another realm, they see us. We don't see them.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
or
Yep.
like or like an aquarium.
Exactly.
An aquarium. You're a zoo. You go to a zoo.
Yep.
Animals
That
don't give a
Yeah.
shit.
No, they don't even know we're there, but yet we're sitting here observing them,
Exactly.
you know,
So it
and therefore making them a reality also.
exactly. So there's so many different theories. I mean, we can all be right, but we can also all be wrong, and that's what I love about this field.
E
Dimensions. What's
exactly.
up, Joe? Holy
Ex
crap! I haven't seen you in a minute. Where you been hiding?
Oh, he's always on our in our chats.
Oh,
You should come on over here more often, Matt.
I get stuck on the
Mhm.
Facebook side.
Ah.
I don't.
So Vicky says the residual here, I believe, is the love of the home. It was moved here, so she didn't have to leave her home. So Vicky's home is
Mm,
haunted. It's pretty obvious that it is. But it is very apparent that it is residual. It always walks through the same doors. It always walks through the same
yeah.
path. And she's right. The home was built for the lady that you see in this home. We believe it's her anyway. Of course, we can't prove that, by any means, but it's pretty obvious. Um, and that home was her husband built that for
Aw.
her. And when I can't remember the exact story, but something happened where they had to move the home from their property out in the country into town where she
Mm.
lives now. And I think Vicky's right on that. I think the woman just is there walking the same path or whatever because it's her home. This is her heart, you
And
know.
that again, that to me makes sense. I mean, that could be a thing that could be what describes what a residual is. I mean, maybe what it was there was so much love and intent in building the home and the property, it basically bled over into the land itself. So it's creating this cycle over and over and over.
Right. Joe's saying, "Hope you're doing well,
You know
Matt."
me, Joe.
Mhm.
Still here, still kicking, still causing trouble.
Give me just a
Yeah.
second here. Ruben, can I get a Pepsi, please? My throat is really dry and I've run out of drink now that you're here. No, Ruben tried to call me like literally minutes after we started the show, and I'm like, I took a picture real quick of the screen. I'm like, no.
No,
But
I know the Wicked Queen was in. I know Felicia said she was gonna sneak in. I don't know if she went in on the Facebook side and didn't see anything, or what happened. I don't know.
um, so there's been some changes, I guess, is happening. I would like to bring Brian on eventually, also, so he can share a little more about global ghost hunt and the changes that are happening. So, can you give us a little glimpse into some of the changes that are happening?
I think I can even do one better. I think I can even show you our new promotional video if you like. We just released it today.
Go ahead.
So what's different about Global Ghost Hunt this year?
Oh.
I don't know what that was.
What did you do?
I don't know. I opened a tab. Okay, I guess I'm not allowed to do that. But one thing about the Global Ghost Hunt for this year that makes it so much different is it's free. It is completely free this year. We wanted to do something to give back to the paranormal community, get more interest, get more involvement. And Liz, you know as well as I do, and I know the rest of Abyss does too, this field's expensive.
Huh.
This field is expensive. This is not
It
not
is.
cheap.
We literally, I don't think Matt even realized that it was really a thing that we were doing. But oh, hold on a second. I accidentally pinned something on my chat. Anyways, um, um, our particular group, we're a larger group. As many people have seen, and we actually. Oh,
No, you're good. I'm not. I didn't play it yet.
it's repeating back to me.
Oh, might have to mute up.
Mm-hmm.
Might have to take mine off. Hold on. Can I mute that? I cannot mute that. Why can I not mute that?
I muted myself.
Okay, we'll hide that for now. We'll hide that for now.
But in our group, we pay monthly dues, and that money we keep it pulled together. We only spend when we have something come up, like we needed new equipment or whatever. We spent the money on that. For instance, for Global Ghost Hunt this year, since we are not having to pay for our entry, also we have a big trip planned instead,
Very nice.
and it's going to be yes, we are going to your side of the country, and we are going to spend about a week out there investigating several places. I'm sure you know him, Jonathan
Myers, Crossover Paranormal Society, my brother. Love him.
Yes, we're going to kind of team up with him. We're going to do a collaboration for Global Ghost Hunt.
That is awesome.
So
that is absolutely awesome, and Jonathan deserves it. He's just like you guys. His team is just like you guys. So fun to investigate with.
He's so nice,
He is.
Matt. He's the nicest man I think
He
ever.
is a freaking teddy bear. I love that man to death. I got the privilege to. Well, we got the privilege to investigate with him at the USS North Carolina, and
one of them we're going to do.
Oh, well, then guess what? You might see me.
Oh, are you coming too?
He was talking about the USS North Carolina. He never told me when exactly, but if it's this year, there's a possibility. I'm just gonna say that.
October, I think it's around October. We plan on probably going to be just before October, simply because we have to be able to have it all ready for you guys. But by all means, come join. Why don't we just do a
I'm
big old
I might
collaboration?
I
You know what I mean?
might I haven't I know he wants to do something really big. I know he told me about next year. He didn't say anything about this year, but if I know it's this year, I might just sneak down for the day. I
By
might
all
just sneak down for
means,
the day.
it'd be awesome. It'd really be awesome if we can all just get together. Can you imagine what that investigation would be like? All of us bringing our own perspectives and lifestyles into it,
I,
and our own
I'm going to
techniques.
tell you
And
guys this from experience. That location is probably, if I had to pick an absolute favorite, that's up there. I love all the locations
yep,
that I've been to, but the USS North Carolina is just so unreal. Just the amount of energy that's there, and it's not negative. It's just busy. There's a lot going on
yeah.
in that ship. And the Wicked Queen and I, we actually got stuck for 45 minutes in a time loop. Yep.
What?
Now I've
Okay, that's
okay.
about
So
that.
backpedal a little bit. I was out in San Diego because I was in the Navy. I was in the Seabees. Well, in boot camp, they taught us how to navigate ships. That's one thing that you have to learn, obvious. Like what all the signs mean, what all the letters mean, all that stuff. We have to learn all that. One thing they always told us is if you ever get lost, go up. Just go up because once you hit the top, you're going to be at the weather deck, which is the top side, and you can find your way
Hmm.
easier from up top. Cool. So we were down in it's called the torpedo room. Highly get a
Okay.
chance if you do sit down there. Just sit. Don't ask questions. Don't do anything. Just sit. Things will happen. A little hint. But we
Okay.
were down there and it was getting kind of late. We were like, you know what? I'm gonna go for a cigarette. She was gonna go up get something to eat because we had a little like food area outside of base. And we started and we went up one of the ladders. And we went up one of the ladder wells and we went up another one, started walking. We ended up back at the torpedo room. Mind you, we went up and we ended right back at the torpedo room. It's like, okay, that's kind of weird. I'm like, oh, maybe we're tired. Okay, maybe we'll find. Did it again. Went up again. Same thing. At least 4 or 5 different times, we were caught in this little loop. We could not leave that area. It wasn't until we met up with Shasta, Jonathan's cousin from Crossover.
Hmm.
We met up with her, and we were on the right path. We were walking the same direction where we've been going until we finally broke out of that loop. Something was keeping us there.
What the frick? I would be Matt. Matt, you have no idea. There's. I know you know of the movie Groundhog Day.
Yep. Yep.
Groundhog Day. Okay, that movie freaks me out. I can watch all the horror movies in the world, but that one scares the shit out of
Hey,
me.
being from
And
Pennsylvania, Punxsutawney is not a far distance.
right. So I can't imagine. I could not imagine. I I would probably literally just die right
we
there.
we were freaking out about it, but I couldn't help but laugh. I'm like, oh, a Navy guy can't find his way out of a ship. What the fuck is going on? And I mean, it was bad. I mean, it took about 45 minutes until we finally broke out of that loop. We had voices, shadow figures. I actually did a live stream. This was before the Global Ghost Hunt. I did a live stream, and I think in the live you can see it. There's shadows or black masses that are peeking out from the doors, and you can see
That's
them.
amazing. It's like the holy
Yeah.
grail of it all. You
Oh,
know what I'm saying?
it
Like
even gets
that's
better. We were hearing voices, footsteps. I caught footsteps on camera. I actually caught disembodied feet walk right in front of me,
wow.
right in front of me. Um, what else? Uh, one of the oh, I apologize, Joe. That one was kind of weird, but and then another investigator and myself separately. We were walking through the medical area, like the hospital area,
Uh-huh.
and they have on the ship they have these little rooms set to the side for displays and stuff, and they have plexiglass built up so you can't get
Oh,
in.
sure.
They have like the dolls and mannequins and stuff. Well, I was walking through. towards the beginning of the investigation, I was just kind of wandering around, making sure I got my bearings straight, and I was doing. Oh wait, no, that's when Scott actually started my live for himself. We were sharing a StreamYard account,
Oh,
and it said I was live, and I
okay.
was like, I'm not live. I'm not ready to go live. And I look, and it's Scott, and I was like, that son of a. All right, I like, and I'm down below deck, and I was like, I got to go up and I got to get a new stream going. So I'm walking up, and I pass through the medical area, and I see this individual staring right at me through one of the panes, through one of the plexiglasses, until I
Mhm.
realized that was actually somebody. I thought it was a mannequin, but no, there was no mannequin, no nothing. There was somebody literally standing there staring at me. And I went, oh, stay there. I'll be right back. Like, that was my literal reaction. I was like, so, I was about ready to swing, and then I realized what was going on, and I was like, just 10 minutes. Give me 10 minutes, damn it! And I left about. And when we got up to the base, we were with a bunch of different investigators. I pulled one of them to the side. I said, "Hey, let's go have a smoke. I want to talk to you about something." And he goes, "Okay." So I pulled him down to the parking lot, and I'm having a cigarette, and I'm telling him everything that transpired. And he goes, "Yo, that's awesome. That's, I hope we get more of that." I said, "Yeah, I know." I said, "But I want to tell you this because we're investigating separately, so that way if it happens again, you can validate what I'm telling you. I have it written down. I have
Mhm.
everything, to validate what just happened to me." And he goes, "All right, great." I said, "So if somebody else has that incident, we can validate each other." He goes, "Got it."
Right.
The one thing I didn't tell him was any type of details. I left that out on purpose.
I noticed that. I was just thinking, I was like, you didn't tell him what he looked
I
like.
left everything out. I had it written down though. About 2 hours later, we're down in, I think it was the galley or the kitchen area, and we just hear this blood curdling scream. It went through
Oh
the entire
no.
ship, and we're all like, um, "What was that?" So we had radios, but they did nothing. They did absolutely nothing on that ship.
I kind of
So
wondered.
we ran. We literally ran. Which, well, the Wicked Queen and her ex, they walked. I ran because I am very aware of how to maneuver through. And sure enough, one of the female investigators we were with saw the same thing I saw. She starts freaking out and
Mhm.
saying, "I just saw this," and starts rambling off. And I noticed where we were at, and I went, "Brown hair, about six." Blah, 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 blah. I started reading off the description, and she goes, "Yes." I went, "Right here." I said, "I saw the same dude." And
That's
but
awesome.
the freakiest thing though about that ship is the frickin' tour guide. He is a
Oh,
creepy man.
oh.
Great.
Hopefully he's not
He's
watching.
he's great. Don't get me wrong. He's very knowledgeable. He knows his stuff. He's very informative, very understanding, he's a great personality, great guy. He's creepy. He can maneuver through that ship dead silent. Take take
Oh,
bells. Take bells or some kind of reflecting something, because we were down in the galley, the cafeteria where all the benches are, and we're just panning around and doing stuff. Nobody right there. Nobody around us. We pan back. He's sitting right there. You hear cussing. You hear screams. You hear a bunch of stuff. We ran into him. He comes out of nowhere. Oh, my camera doesn't like me right now. I don't care. Whatever. You do you. You do you, camera. I don't know what you're doing. There you go. Hi. But no, he is creepy. I've always said, and we all said that next time we go, we're putting bells on him or glow in the dark paint, something to where we can see him.
you know what? You know what would be really bad though, Matt? So, not too many people know it, but people close to me know. I am actually going deaf, and I cannot. You too. I can't hear high pitched noises
Hmm.
already. So, like, if somebody did wear bells, it would do nothing for me.
You got to put
Nothing.
something on that
It,
man. A great guy, tall, skinny guy, but and what made it worse was 100. He wore a
oh,
gray hoodie, dark hat.
so he just
Oh yeah,
blended in to all
oh
the
yeah.
gray around.
That made it so much worse. And this man would just appear out of freaking nowhere. Like, we'd be doing an EVP session, and no spirit box, no outside noise. We're just doing EVPs, and we get that feeling that somebody's watching you. We kept getting
Mm-hmm.
that, and we're like, "Is somebody standing right behind me?" And we hear him, "Yeah, I'm right here." Son of- I don't know how he did it. He had boots on. You hear boots on metal. You hear it. It's very distinct. It's ting ting ting. You hear it. Not a damn sound out of this man. It's like he was wearing Hey
Have
Dudes.
you ever have you seen the movie The
Yes.
Pacifier? Okay. So in my office, I get startled a lot because my back sits to like the opening of my
Hmm.
area or whatever, and somebody will walk in, and like there's this quote from that movie that it just makes me think of people who creep up on you like that. She walks like Dracula.
The
You
the
know?
best the best I can relate him to is the butler in Mr. Deeds.
Oh
100%. That
yes.
is him. It's just you say his name 3 times, and just right there. It just, mm, dude.
I feel you underestimate the sneakiness, sir.
That's how this guy was, and we told him. We said, "Dude, you're fucking creepy." It's like, announce yourself. He didn't even have a flashlight. We were blacked out. I mean, we had flashlights and we had
Oh,
some emergency lights, but that's it. That's all we had on that ship. And even though
right.
I'm aware of how ships are laid out, I was still having a difficult time maneuvering through in the dark.
Sure.
But this man just, I mean, he could have done it blindfolded and just as quick. But yeah, definitely bring a bell or some kind of glow in the dark paint for this man if he's there. Tall, skinny guy. Jonathan
Okay.
knows who he is, and if I see him, I'm gonna be like, "No, you're staying right here. I'm gonna put a leash, a harness on him. You're staying with me, bitch. I'm gonna tie you up somewhere." But, and then we caught
um,
a disembodied scream. It was definitely an EVP. Nobody heard it. We were in the kitchen.
oh, I was gonna say, so you sure it wasn't somebody getting scared
Hundred
again,
percent,
though?
hundred
So,
percent, because we were recording, and I'm simple. I like my phone. I'll record with my phone, and we're just walking through the kitchen, and we got to I think the baking area or somewhere, and we're just talking about the ship, and the girls are with me. They're asking me about how ships are laid out, how was it in the military, so they can relate to the spirits that were there. And we're just
sure.
talking, not even investigating, just general chit chat, and you hear a clear as day scream, and it was female. It was perfect scream, and nobody reacted to it.
Which is amazing to me because females aren't normally allowed, right?
Correct. During that time frame, the
Yeah.
only real females that were
What
allowed were USO.
would you say?
Not on
Ruben, sorry,
submarines.
Ruben's chiming in.
Sorry, not on submarines, but on main ships they are.
But back in the like during World War II, also and stuff like that.
Well, they have the waves. The
Yeah.
nurses.
The
Yep.
nicest. Okay.
But yeah, it was definitely feminine. It was definitely a female scream.
So, let's take a step back real
Mhm.
quick though, because there was one key thing about the global ghost hunt that I feel like should have
Yeah.
been mentioned before we got off on our thing or whatever, is because the global ghost hunt is free
Mhm.
this year, we are now able to submit multiple videos to be seen. So like it really provides an opportunity for us to get potentially a year's worth of views of how it is in the life of a paranormal investigator, so to speak.
100%. Now,
Yeah.
the only little catch I will say to that is obviously if time permitting, because if we get a
Mm-hmm.
huge amount of teams, everyone to get two, that's that's gonna be fun. But
Right.
I know we as an admin staff decided that if the 10 days weren't enough, we were going to extend it out. We were going to extend it out towards the end, probably of October, so an extra couple days. But it just depends. It really depends on how many teams sign up with it being free this year. We're expecting a huge amount, hopefully a huge response with these teams, but it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of fun, but spots
Mm-hmm.
are limited. So I would say if you were interested in doing two, sign up, get it in as soon as you can so we can schedule it that's just the thing is. We are about to launch some new stuff, some new. I don't know if Brian wants me to say all the details yet, but there are some new things coming down the pipeline, including a new website. So we're working on that. We've got a new logo. Like I said, today we just relaunched.
It's
Oh, I love it.
beautiful.
I love
It is so pretty. I know that's like, oh, it's so paranormal. No, it's really pretty
it.
though. I love the colors, the design. It's
We've
awesome.
got we're revamping a lot of it. The big difference between this year and the rest is we're only doing the one event. We're only doing the October event. I know we usually have two, which I look forward to. I look forward to the April one because it's warmer out. People are out. There's more locations outdoor wise you can get into. Um, but the October event, we decided because it is free, we'll just do the one event, but we're hoping with it being free and being around October, everyone and anyone's going to come out for it, and that's what we want. We tried to figure out what could make this year better than the past 2 years, and obviously the first year was interesting. The first event was interesting. Uh,
It it was
oh, it
chaotic,
was
but we
it.
got it. We all got it figured
And
out,
it was a great learning experience from the first investigation all the way to the last, and even the halftime show. I'll be honest,
Mhm.
Brian and I were talking about the halftime show and what we were going to do minutes before we went live. We were like, who do we talk about? There's so much to talk about.
Right.
Even the closing ceremonies, we had to, we had to limit what we were saying. Otherwise, we would have been there for hours. So we tried to figure out how are we going to make this year better, and with it being free, that's a no-brainer. That's the only way we could think of to make it better because we learned from everybody on what to do, what not to do.
Which is also why I said it has groups now have the potential to be able to do a lot of entries because
Yes.
of this. I mean, obviously, like you said, there's going to be some constraints simply because of the time frame, but the whole goal of doing this for free wasn't it basically to get people back involved into it. Like there was a sudden like loss, it seemed like, of entries and people participating in it, and I feel like this was the best way to kind of revamp it and go, look, we are still here, we are still alive, let's get back into this and make it bigger and better. And I think with that being free now, people now have that potential to go, okay, this was a really great investigation. We're going to go ahead and send this into Global Ghost Hunt, ask them to send it out during the actual performance, and that sort of thing. And so I think that is going to be the biggest draw, is that we now had the potential to really get ourselves out there, not just with one investigation, but the potential of
Yep.
several, so that you can see the consistency and the changes and the evolving it takes to be a paranormal investigator also.
100%. And one thing that really led us to do the free side, and just so everybody's aware, Brian and the rest of the admin, like we talk almost on a daily basis, and we're always talking about different things. I mean, even right now we're in planning phases. I was in a meeting with Brian and a guy named Nathan. Nathan and I are heading
Mhm.
up all the media, like the videos and the promos and stuff. And we were in a meeting talking about ideas already for how are we going to promote the teams? How are we going to do this? It's we've been going since the week after the October event. We've been pretty much on it, like right back. And the one
Right.
thing that really led us to do this free side of it this year um, was because we decided that yeah, we did have a lot of interest decline. We did see a little bit of decline. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't enough to really make us scared not to do it. But I did see a little bit, and we were trying to figure out what could we do to really entice teams and groups to get involved with this. And I said we need to hook them somehow. We need to do something. And I forget who came up with the idea of it being free, but I know I chimed in with, "3 for free." We could have some fun with that. That could be a good play on words, and it just kind of stuck. And we all had a meeting. We're like, yeah, we're doing it. It's going to be free.
Now, with that being said, I do want to point out also that Just because the teams get to sign up for free doesn't mean that we as people cannot support them financially too. I've even looked into already if I would be able to help sponsor the show. It's just a little, cause like I told Brian, my business is so tiny that, even as low as the sponsorship is, it's still just a little bit more than I can afford at this point. But it doesn't mean that people can't send some money
Correct.
in, can't help support this thing or whatever, because it still does cost you guys money to run this and keep it going and that sort of thing. And I think that it should be said, we can still financially support you guys as
Yeah,
well.
and huge props
So,
to Brian, because everything for the Global Ghost Hunt so far has come out of his pocket, minus a couple of little things. Like last year, I paid for the subscription for people to get the merchandise. It is a yearly subscription, and we have a specific domain that you can buy. I came out of pocket for that to help out. But yeah, none of us are getting paid for any of this. This is all volunteer based, and to be honest with you, if
right.
anything, we lose money doing these events, and that's
Yes.
fine. We're willing to invest. We're willing to invest because this is something really special, and we have caught some interest in some networks. We'll just put it that way. And different platforms have been taking notice to us, and we're still working a lot of different things out to make the experience better, not for us but for these teams and for like people like you guys.
Exactly.
But yeah, and what I tell people is, if you feel like you want to help out and you can't afford a sponsorship, which is perfectly fine, get the merch, get something for you, get something for you, get something for your team. And to be honest, I picked up a hoodie myself, and it's the most comfortable one I own.
Awesome.
So yeah, and that's the other thing too, is this year we have new merch coming out. It'll be with the new logos, and a couple different things. Melissa from Rootless Destinations will be spearheading the merchandise. Her and I are going to have a meeting sometime soon about turning things over. I'm going to turn it over to her, but not before I get on there and I do what I do. I have ideas.
Right. Right. Joe did ask, he wants to know a little more about the Global Ghost Hunt. Is it going live at, and is there a link? I think that you can go ahead and share a little more about
so
that.
it's real simple. Basically, anywhere, what we're trying to do is anywhere that has a social media live capabilities, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, we're going to go live from there. That's what we want to do. We want to go live from literally everywhere and anywhere. TikTok's kind of a little tricky because once you end the live, that's it. There's it doesn't save it, which sucks. But YouTube and Facebook are the best to watch it. You can watch it on just Global Ghost Hunt. You can search for it. You can find us, and just subscribe there and turn on notifications, of course. As far as Facebook, we promote it all out, and that's all we ask people to do is just share it out. Just share it everywhere you can. But it's going to be on, obviously, Global Ghost Hunt, and it's also going to be on Parapost Network Central. So that'll be all over that too.
So, Joe, basically both of those pages you can find on Facebook. You can also find the Global Ghost Hunt on YouTube and subscribe there as well. What happens is the team submit our videos to Global Ghost Hunt. Some of us have the capabilities of actually going live, and what happens is that team then puts it out onto YouTube and onto Facebook as a live stream that you can go in and actually watch. It's really actually pretty awesome because, for instance, last year Brian was in up somewhere near his place up there in Canada, and yes, it was really an amazing place. But he was investigating, but while he's investigating and he was live, we were able to see things that were happening that he didn't even realize, and we're able to comment at that time and go, "Hey, go back to this, look at this," or whatever. And it was really a very interactive and participatory.
I got it.
It requires participants to make it so lively and to make it happen. And so, by all means, Joe, go check them out. Go get subscribed now, because once October hits, you'll see it's an amazing thing to watch.
And I will say, if you do send in your footage, that's perfectly fine. but the only thing we ask is no intros, no outros, no editing of any kind. It obviously, like I did Centralia with the Wicked Queen, I cut out driving from location to a location. Obviously, I'm not gonna. You
Uh-huh.
guys don't want to watch us drive. You probably don't want to hear what we say in the car either. But so I cut that stuff like that. That's fine.
That's kind of what we do
Yeah.
as well. So most of the places we go to, if anybody's really familiar with Missouri, it's pretty rural just about everywhere
Yes,
in
it is.
Missouri. And so getting signal, a strong enough signal anywhere is nearly impossible. And so I think it was the very first one we did was when we did
Oh my gosh.
Windyville. We started off.
I know you guys. I just
we
want to say, speaking of that one, I don't mean to cut you off, Liz, but I know with
No,
Vicky
you're fine. Go ahead.
still in the audience, with you here, I know Ruben's probably listening in. Let me just say this: you guys took a terrible situation and turned it into something amazing. I have to say that. I know there were some issues with your guys' location. I know you guys had some
Oh,
issues. To be
oh my
honest,
gosh.
I preferred what you guys did. I preferred it. Yeah, I was all excited for the one, but you know what? What you guys did and how you guys did it, to me, that was the official start. Nothing against anybody, but that was the official start of Global Ghost Hunt. That was the whole reason why we did what we do, is because of what you guys did. You guys literally turned something that was a negative, turned it into a positive, and then took that positive and gave it steroids. Because
Yeah. It's an amazing place, and it does have a lot of negative connotation attached to it, unfortunately. We're talking worldwide type news to this little bitty speck in the woods. And you're right. We had some moments there that were scary, sketchy, and we actually didn't know if we were going to be able to actually finish the investigation because we're debating, should we go home? Was it safe
well,
for us?
the
You
one
know?
thing that really to me stood out over everything, and nothing against the investigation, because the investigation was amazing. I just want to say that on record. That was an amazing investigation. But what it was for me was, I don't know who your camera guy was for that location, but whoever did an outstanding job. You guys, they literally stood there for 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, talked to the team, got involved with the investigation, made sure everybody knew what was going on. You guys explained it beautifully, waited a little bit longer, and then left and went to another group. You guys, that camera person walked around and made sure that everybody got to see everything that was going on in the investigation. There was no question in my mind, what was Liz doing? Oh, well, what was this person doing? What was that person doing? We knew because we saw it. And nothing against other teams. I love to see that more. I would love to see that more. Split up, have one person dedicated just to the camera, and promote your team. You want to promote it out. You want to show show the world what you guys can do. Great example. Go to Abysses.
So we'll give props where it's due. Ruben was our primary care guy, our primary camera guy. And so, but because we wanted him involved in the investigation also, then I would take over the camera. And so if I knew I wasn't a part of that particular investigation spot, then I took the camera from him, and then we just picked up where we left off, and then therefore just kept continuing on. Vicky is very phenomenal with organizing and making sure. And we've said it before in a lot of our stuff or whatever. It can be chaotic, especially when you're not used to. I think people have this idea in their head of what paranormal investigation is supposed to look like. We look too much to regular TV, and this is how it's supposed to go. It's supposed to be clean. It's supposed to be neat, and but they have an entire crew of people following them around, and half the shit scripted anyway.
Yep.
Okay, so we in that first one, that was the most. Poor Ruben. He was presenting Alivestigator. Do you remember that? Our invention that we came up with. And he was so stoic, and he's just like, I am Ruben with Abyss. This is Alivestigator.
I remember.
Like, oh, babe, come on now.
And
But for not used a spotlight on us, and that's exactly what it felt like we had a spotlight on us, and we're like, "Do we do this? What do we do?"
Trust me, when I was live at Penhurst, it was the same way. I was a little, but just do you, just have fun, and that's something I've said it even on the GGH lives, the live streams we do. Just be you, have fun, and let your team show. It's not who catches the best evidence; it's who has the most fun. And you guys, I am thoroughly impressed, and I have been with every investigation you guys have done. I've been so impressed by it.
You're like one of our biggest fans, and we really feel the love from you. We appreciate it too,
It was
seriously.
just the way you guys investigate. It's just so much fun to watch. And you talk about people not understanding how the paranormal really is. I would have, Vicky. I probably wouldn't have gotten down. Well, I would have gotten down, but it wouldn't have been the way you probably wanted me to. But
We just
yeah,
would
you would have heard a thud and yep, Matt Pill. But but no, you guys, you talk about people not realizing what the real paranormal is. I've said on my show numerous times, turn off your lights and start talking. That's how it is. You talk to yourself in the dark, and it's weird. Um, Brian and I had the privilege to speak with Satori Haas when we did our series Women Investigate 2, which, FYI, if anybody knows what Women Investigate 2, that show we did, we are trying to plan a part 2. I know some people have been asking about that. We were talking about it the other week, and we are planning a Women Investigate part 2. I can't say part 2, but anyway, but we were talking with her about it, and she flat out said, she goes, you guys see half hour, 45 minutes worth of evidence, sometimes not even that. What you don't see is we're there for a week or two. So
Oh my
you
gosh.
got all that time condensed down to 30 minutes. I mean, if you don't believe me, think about when was the last time you did evidence review. That takes longer than a half hour. That takes longer than 10 minutes.
I was just getting ready to say, so that particular investigation, Windyville, keep in mind we had 5 static cameras, handheld, all the voice recorders, and we were there from Friday night till Sunday evening.
Beautiful.
5 static cameras of 3 days of evidence to review.
Mm-mm.
And I think a lot of people, whenever, like, if we get called into an investigation, a lot of them think the turnaround time is literally within that 24 hours, like they see on TV. And it is not. It can take weeks to get through all the evidence.
And that's what I explain to every one of my clients. Over 400 times I've explained this. I do the rule of 3. For 1 hour, you have 3 hours worth of review, because you have to watch it 3 times all the way through, even the awkward stuff, even the silent stuff, and even everyone's least favorite, hearing themselves. I hate that.
Yes.
I hate hearing myself.
Oh, it's awful.
I still don't understand it to this day. I do not understand how y'all listen to me. I really don't.
You have a good voice. You have like a radio presence voice.
I definitely have the radio look, but I don't know about the voice. But but no, and that's really what it is. You literally sit in the dark, and that's one thing I really love about what we do is people are starting to see this is what an investigation is really like, and it's starting to bring people into the field or bring them back to the field, and it's good, but it's also bad because you have those type of people that you need to watch out for, and that's something that we've already ran into. We've had some teams that we've already said, look, we don't give out refunds, but no, we've even told people, intros, outros, don't do it. We don't want them. We have intros. We do that for you. And there's a reason behind that. And we've had people arguing because a half hour of their hour and a half investigation was nothing but basically a commercial. It's like, no, that's not what this is about. This is about you and your team.
Right.
We don't care about this Paracon or this, group that you hang out with, once every 6 months. No, we don't care about them. We care about you and your team and your location.
Yeah.
And a lot of people lose sight of that. And some people get mad. But suck it up, Buttercup. That's the rules. I'll put it
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean,
I'll put it to you this
that's how
I'll
it
put it to you
goes.
this way. I'm the one who creates the videos. Well, me, Aaron Hoffman, he's done a lot. Now Nathan's helping out with it too. I don't get any special treatment. I don't get a special video. I get to do them all. That's a pain in the ass,
Right.
um, but none of us, even Brian, doesn't get anything special out of this. We get the same treatment as everybody
Right.
else, and like with the Centralia video, I told Brian ahead of time, these cuts are for this reason.
Yep.
There were some times during filming that her and I did have to stop and refilm something, like the intro. The intro, I'm just letting you know right now, was god awful. we did our opening, and we just kind of stood there like, what are we supposed to say now? Shit. And I'd walk back to the car to read it.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
a live streamer. I stream live. That's what I do. I don't do the recording stuff.
And I think what you're trying to hit on here, and I think we should maybe make sure it's very clear, is that the reason why that we, well, not we, I'm not part of the Global Ghost Hunt team or
Oh, your
whatever, but
family.
why there is the why there is the rule though of don't add your own stuff, don't edit it or whatever, is because it's too easy to then look like these mainstream get ups who are just faking this
Yep.
shit. If we actually allowed people to edit their videos, it is too easy for somebody to go in and go, they edited it though, so all the rest, everything needs to be thrown out,
100%.
every bit
And
of it.
to be honest with you, the edited stuff, yeah, it's good entertainment. Everybody likes watching good entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not real, and that's not doing anybody any favors. And to be honest with you, even though each team has their own special uniqueness about them, we want everybody on the same playing field. We want nothing to, like, we don't want bells, whistles, and all this other crap, all this other edits to make it stand out, because it doesn't look right. If everybody else is doing the same
Exactly.
thing, a generic basic investigation, that's what we want. We want to show what your team can do. What stories do these spirits have? Or even like people like Rootless Destinations, every investigation has some sort of outfit, some sort of, costume or garb on, and it makes it exciting because I don't know what they're gonna do. Like the jail cell, that the prison was just freaking hilarious. I love that. That was great. The nuns, when they did the, oh my gosh, I when they did the mission, that was
Yeah.
creepy. Those girls, love those girls to death. They have a great personality. They're just lovely ladies. Watching the camera come up on two freaking nuns outside of a, no, no,
Well,
no.
yeah, but it's a good trigger thing, and that's exactly it. So when we did one of our investigations, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't realize that somebody had already done it. I think I missed some of those that where they were dressing up, but I had decided that I was going to try to become a trigger
Yep,
object in one of our investigations. I believe it was the Kendrick house. I
yep.
get it confused sometimes with the Wall house, but I'm sure it's Kendrick. Where I dressed like one of the like a servant lady would have dressed, and I was reading to the
Mm-hmm.
children and this sort of thing, because in my opinion, there were, from the stories, there were tons of children that lived in that home throughout time. And in my opinion, the best way to get an interaction is to give them something that was safe and familiar and something that would make them go, okay, I can talk to this lady and I can, tell my story or whatever. And that was
Yep.
the goal, is to get them to feel safe enough to know that we're not there to hurt you. We're not there to exploit you. We want to know what happened,
Yep.
you
And,
know.
that's what we did at, believe it or not, at Penhurst. Everybody
Hmm.
hears Penhurst and they think big, scary, creepy, thanks to mainstream
Yeah.
numbnuts. It's demonic.
Yeah.
It's
I,
demonic. No, it's not freaking demonic. Shut up. But
I know. And
we
it's,
went there, and I'll be honest, I was guilty of this. I went in thinking, Mr. Big Bad Investigator, I want to get scratched. I want to get pushed. Bring it on. I want the evil because it's good evidence. That's what I was after.
right.
Doing the walkthrough, and if you guys ever get a chance, I highly suggest doing the tour with these tour, not the haunted tour. Go through and listen to the history of Penhurst. Those people, went through literal hell. And
Yep.
somebody who had ADHD was considered psychotic. Somebody who was
Yep.
OCD, same deal. People were literally being dropped off by trains with notes hanging off of them. It was basically a concentration camp back in the day because they were unwanted. And it's shameful. When we heard all the atrocities that these people went through and saw where it happened, I pulled her to the side, and we were live, by the way. We were live at this time. I think it was Scott. I handed him the phone and I said, dude, just take this for a minute. I need to go do something. He goes, oh, yeah. I pulled the Wicked Queen aside. I said, we can't investigate like this. She goes, what do you mean? I said,
Nope.
I'm not going in here with a dominant, mentality. I
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yep.
I just can't. I said, we have to change up how we're doing this. And we did. We changed it to a more laid back, relaxed, comforting, safe. She would even talk to the kids. Like, she had her pendulum going. She was talking with the kids, and she
Yep.
did an amazing job. I wanted that investigation to be about her. I wanted to highlight the Wicked
Yep.
Queen, and just everything about that location it changed. It really changed my mentality on the paranormal. After 20 years, it changed me.
And it's so true too. So one thing, we have a rule for anybody who might want to join our group. One of the very first things we tell somebody, we are not provokers. We will not try to provoke anybody, because we go in with this idea that who we are talking to used to be us.
It's good.
Okay. And I mean, it literally should be like that. They should be treated like
Yeah.
humans.
Yep.
Period. And my biggest thing is I watch those stupid shows that they do go into these asylums or these sanatoriums and things like this. And my degree is in psychology. That's what I know. I understand psychology. I study psychology. I live for psychology. Hey, Jonathan. And um and so whenever I see these people go into these places and they're just like, Steve, it breaks
Takes
my
off their
heart,
shirt.
because those people were tortured. They were tortured. And it was all in the name of science. And while I understand that there were a lot of sacrifices made to be able for us to today to better understand what we know or whatever, the idea though that they had to go through to get to that point is absolutely horrific. And anybody who goes in there and goes, you're the fucking devil, blah, 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 blah. Boy, you need to shut down. You need to shut up, sit down, go away, because these people have already endured enough from everybody. We don't need you to do it, make it worse. It's, I don't know. You know who I'm talking about.
Now, I will say 99% of the time, I'm the same way. I'm the exact same way. I show respect. I'm very respectful of spirits. I try to be like buddy buddy with them, try to comfort them.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, there has been a certain cases that I've been on that either the living children were being tormented, or we found that the children's spirits were being tormented. That throws another switch.
That's different. That's a whole
That
different.
I will
Yeah.
challenge. That I do provoke. There is a right and a wrong way of doing it. I will let people know. I do know how to provoke properly, and I make sure all the
Mm-hmm.
focus is right here. I basically
Yep.
tell them I want to be attacked, and they start going after somebody else. I tell them, no, you are not allowed. You need to come after me. I make myself the
Right.
target, and I do it a certain way. I don't just go in there and start calling demons names. Don't do that, by the way. Don't just go and start rambling off a list
Never
of
do
demon names, because then you're gonna find you'll find one. One will answer.
that.
Eventually, they will, but you're just invoking something you don't want to. But it's not what you see on
Yeah.
TV. It's not. And what got me too is, look, I'm gonna rat on my brother-in-law. We went with my brother-in-law and sister-in-law to the drive-in movies, and we saw The Conjuring, the last one they made.
Uh-huh.
My wife was so pissed at me. And my brother-in-law, we're in separate cars. We're in the bed of my truck. They're parked next to us, and I'm sitting on the side of their car. He comes over, taps on the side of my truck, lifts his head up over the bed, and goes, "Matt, does that actually happen?" It's like, well, sometimes you got to do this and that. And I'm like dumbing down the movie and I'm explaining it from an investigator standpoint.
Yeah.
All I get is hit on the side of my head and I get told, "Shut up." And I went, "Sorry, but that's what I do. I can't watch horror movies. I pick them apart." Like, we went to go see It, Chapter 1, the newest It. And we're sitting in the theater and I'm sitting here going, well, I mean, technically he could be a demonic, but it could also be this, it could be that. I'm like, well, but this characteristic doesn't match. And I'm just breaking it down. And she got mad. So I can't do that. I can't do horror movies.
Yep. I'm like that with all movies, though. But it's not because of the investigative side. I'm just all like, you want to know why that can't really happen? Listen.
Yeah, no, that is me with every scary movie or horror movie. I just can't. I just can't watch them. I break them down. The investigator in me takes over. But
Right.
so I do have that video. I know we kind of went.
Oh, I forgot about that. I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself now, though. Okay, so you go ahead.
All right. So again, folks, what this is, and I'll have it shared up here for you. This is the first official promo of the Global Ghost Hunt for 2025. Freshly released today. However, I can't English. So you might have to bring it up on screen there, Liz. Let's see. There we go. Can we do that full screen? Is there a way to do that? If you put your mouse over, it should be somewhere.
Okay.
People don't need to watch me. Yeah. There we go. And there it is. The official promo.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it took a lot. Most of that was done today.
Oh, it looks good though. It looks really good.
You can it is shared out on the Facebook side of it. You can go to Global Ghost Hunt. You can see it there. I know it's shared on Parapost Network as well. Brian shared it out. Most of the admin staff has shared it out as well. So you guys should be able to see it on there.
Awesome. All right. Well, everybody get out there and share that out also so that we can get more people involved. That's the whole goal. So everybody's loving it, Matt.
You know what's
It's awesome, Matt. That was
thanks, guys. You know, it's funny. I do these videos, and a lot of people say they like them. I hate them. I think I don't. Again, I don't get what the pay. I'm just like, I'm so critical on myself. I do.
Matt, it was. Awesome.
I seriously sit down here and I cuss at myself. I'm like,
no.
I nitpick.
It was really, really good. It's amazing what you can do. I mean, literally, like you found a niche. This is what you do, and you do it well.
Thank you.
You really
and
do.
I can't draw worth a damn, but
Well, you don't have to when you have technology to do it for you. That's all I'm
But
saying.
I will say a little teaser as well for everybody. If you followed the Global Ghost Hunt in previous years, we've had a promo video for the teams, and we've had an intro that's somewhat similar. This year we are still doing that, but it's gonna be a little different. We're gonna try to put a different spin on it this year, so that way anybody can literally shout the promo and the intro basically at the same time. We're gonna try to make it a little more streamlined for everybody, a lot less confusing as well.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, Vicky said we are our own worst critics.
Oh, I'm terrible. I'm terrible, Vicky. I'm not even joking. I have 2 screens down here, plus my phone, and I'm down here just cussing at myself. I'm like, this is fucking shit. I don't like this. No, I have to change it. And even in the meeting today with Nathan, I'm like, Nathan, I don't like this. It's missing something. Something needs to be tweaked. And he's like, it's fine. I'm like, no, something's wrong and needs something. He's like, just freaking send it to Brian. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna bring him up. That's just.
Nah, you're very good at this for sure. Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
So, well, we are about an hour and a half
Holy
in,
crap.
so we're gonna go ahead and call it quits now. But Matt, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Thank you.
I know you were actually the first person I talked to about coming on whenever we decided to do this, and I just never got around to actually doing it.
Hey.
Come January this year, I was all like, "Oh, I'm doing it," and just did it, And
Hey,
so
I'm honored. I'm honored to come on. And believe it or not, and I've said this before, I know people have seen me on a lot of these podcasts and podcasts, but it's mainly as like a co-host or whatever, just come on and chat. But I don't promote myself out there to come on the show, so it's really nice when people ask me, and I really appreciate it.
yeah, well, I mean, you have a lot to offer people, and that's the thing. Like, you yourself are a good person, you are a phenomenal person, and you do work so well. There's no reason why you should only just be the person asking the question. I think that you also should be recognized for your contributions
I
as well.
appreciate it. I know, like yourself, Jonathan, Raymond's had me on a couple of times. Aaron Hoffman, we've been on a lot recently, and I've been on a lot of really amazing shows, and I've met a lot of amazing people. So it's awesome. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Well, we appreciate your support and love, and if you guys need anything, you know where to find us. But all right, everybody, just a reminder, there will be no cryptid show this week. It's going to happen next week, and we will have Steven from the group back on to do that as well. And then otherwise, I will see you guys next Monday at 6:00 Central Time, where we'll have another guest on the show, and I will not announce who it is until it's done.
Uh-oh.
So,
Gotta watch.
But all right. All right, guys. You guys have a great night, and I'll see everybody later.